How's it going, Leo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. You're keeping this channel growing. Now, and for those of you who are new, I'm happy Higher Selves has brought you here. You're in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 23rd through the 29th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation or a situation on a reading, all right? We're getting there, Leo. Your space has been cleansed. I'm gonna close this word salad bar here soon. I'm also gonna be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be represent some perspectives you might be thinking about in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are super dope, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Leo this week? Take the wheel, higher self. I don't know what's going on. Ooh, look at that. I really have to just start leading with that. Higher self, take the wheel. Yes, look at that. You're in good hands, Leo. I know I seem questionable, but my higher self is, I love it. Yeah, my higher self has your best intention at heart. Let's see what's going on for Leo. Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. I know the suspense must be killing you. Let me get these cards organized, and we'll get into it. There's a lot of big energy going on this week, Leo. I'm all for it. I'm so with it. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, let's get into it, Leo. Let's just get into it. All right. So, for the nature of your problem, pull the fortune. And then the cards that came along with it are the 9 of Cups and my girl, the Empress. Hey, girl. All right. Leo, what a problem. We're looking for fortune this week. We're looking for I feel for like some of you, I feel like you're getting ready to come across a big break, and I'm hoping it's this week. I want it to be this week, that some good stuff is coming in for you. But I do feel like, I feel like it's going to be, not to say that there's not going to be, maybe there's not going to be money coming in. But I feel like more so with the fortune card in general, it's whatever abundance kind of looks like for you. I feel like really, especially with this card. And another thing with the fortune card, this, just because you pulled it, just because this came out the deck, doesn't mean that fortune is just going to fall out of the sky. Because just like I said, I had to pull this for this to happen. So you have to go out, once it comes your way, you have to do something with it. Because the fortune card is like, hey, if you don't do anything with it, $1 million lottery ticket right there. But you got it all nice and framed. It's posted above the fireplace. Okay, but where's the fortune at? You got to do something with it. The fortune doesn't. It shows up when it's ready. It'll pop up in like the most surprising places. But you know what? When you get there, it's about going and grabbing it. And taking that fortune. Getting that abundance, because it's all around us. We just have to find that. And I feel like for you, or at least for some of you this week, I feel like you're going to find more emotional abundance, which will down the line lead to where we're making it rain, where this is imagine this a slot machine and just go just jing, jing, ling, ling, ling. Yeah, I'm not saying that's not coming, but I just say that just because, well, let me talk about them. First, with this 9 of Cups here, the 9 of Cups is about happiness. And cups in general are just about emotional matters, love, and all of that. And I feel like for this week, finding what makes you happy is going to lead you to that good fortune. Duh, right? But sometimes, we can forget that. Sometimes we just work for the sake, or, you're doing things for the sake of just fortune. We just want to make resources, and we're just making it just to make it, as opposed to making it with intention. Making it because, I'm doing this thing I love. Look at all this abundance coming in, fortune. And that's why I feel like for some of you this week, that's why I say I feel like it's more of you're going to feel this emotional fulfillment. And I feel like that in itself, it's not that I don't want money, but some emotional fortune, what? I'm all for it. And I think that's perfect that this is, because what does endless happiness look like? It looks like the Empress. Because the Empress is, I love her. She is my self-care card. Self-care, self-care, self-care. This is my card of, she just by herself represents beauty, love. She's another good fortune card. But she's the type that, it's one of those things, maybe for some of you, you've just been, like I was saying, doing fortune for fortune's sake, as opposed to doing something that's going to make you get fulfilled, taking care of yourself, and doing those loving things, but because she's normally is my self-care card, but I do feel like more so for this week, this is just doing things I feel like that makes you feel good, that's just going to give you that fulfillment. I hadn't read the Empress like this before, but yeah, just with how this is lined up here, I really do feel like this is kind of saying focusing on things, because it doesn't take away that I want you to self-care, but because I'm talking about self, I feel like it's saying focus on the things that's going to give you this, that makes you happy, that's going to get you fulfilled, so that fortune can start pouring in from every avenue, so that we're getting resource fortune, emotional fortune, everything's just fortunate, that's ultimately what we want here, Leo. So, I'm not going to, that's actually kind of, actually that leads me, we're going to jump into the future here. But because I kind of like that, we're just talking about, doing those things that make you happy, that find, channeling that energy into something that's just that's gonna give you so much happiness, Leo, because that's where it's at. That's where this abundance is at. And I feel like sometimes we forget that. And let me move on to this future thing, because I can stay in this all day. Now, on the right hand side here, I pulled the Three of Wands, the Princess of Disc, and the Seven of Cups. Now, this kind of really goes in. I like that this is here, because this kind of really ties in nicely what I was talking about. When you're going on to do these things, we've taken a little time, we've self-cared, we've got, we know what makes us happy. You've really sat with yourself and evaluated that, because that can be self-care too. What is not necessarily has to be just like pampering ourselves and, resting and whatnot. What can we do when we have to take this Empress energy out on the road? What's going to give us that fulfillment? What's going to keep this Empress energy going? And I feel like this Three of Wands is just that, finding the things that you hold virtuous, and channeling their energy into that, that's going to really feeding this Nine of Cups energy into whatever you're doing. Because again, that's what's going to lead you to that fortune. And that's exactly what the Princess of Disc is doing. Man, love it, girl. Love that you showed up too. Because she is my, for some, this is only going to resonate with some. If we're expecting, congratulations. If we're not, let's be mindful. She can be like mine, just in case we're not looking to get pregnant right now, because she's a very fertile card, probably my most fertile card in the deck. But more so like on the getting away from like kind of like the baby aspect, and more of just like her, she's a card of like prosperity, in the sense of like she's pouring in all of this energy. I don't know if you can see at the bottom here, but she has all this life that she's pouring through this scepter to feed into the ground here. The ground's lit up here because she's going to feed this energy into this grove. She's got her peace. she's definitely Empress. She's found out what makes her happy, and now she's feeding that back into her world so that, she can enjoy that, everybody else can enjoy that. She's really a good card of just abundance, really planting your seeds and feeding us whatever this is. It could be whether we're pouring this stuff into our work, pouring it to like a house project, pouring its energy into ourselves, our children, whatever. It's going with that. It's going with that intention that this is it. You want to feed all that goodness in there. We want fortune all around. This forest, when we pass through it, oh, what forest are you in, ma'am? Fortune Forest. That's where she lives. So that's what we want from this Princess of Disc energy here. And you know what? That's a good thing. I like that this Seven of Cups popped up here. Because while we're doing these things, this is kind of what I was talking about in the sense of doing things that fulfilling ourselves, making sure we're not just doing fortune for fortune's sake. Because sometimes, that's how we get to the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is a card of like debauchery, any sort of like intoxication, toxic behavior. This is like, I feel like this is like a soft warning before a devil moment happens. That's usually this, or like a hanged man. One of this, that's where the Seven of Cups is leading. It's a very soft warning. But I do feel like it's to just kind of checking your emotion, checking your cups, seeing where, if things aren't making us happy, seeing where we need to focus this Empress energy on. Maybe we need to channel it in this main cup here, digging, this is Venus, because, Empress is Venus. This is Venus and Scorpio here. So it's like, giving, shining some light, really doing some deep diving. And I love that we're in Scorpio season too. This is like really doing some deep diving, bringing this toxicity, whatever this is, to the surface, and then applying that Empress energy to it, feeding it with that happiness, that love, that compassion. So that, again, I'm going to keep throwing this fortune in your face, Leo. Fortune, we want it. But yeah, let's make sure that we've got, make sure from our relationships to how we're how we're personally feeling about ourselves, to how we're, be very mindful going into that, okay? Now, let's move on to this left-hand side here, because I love this one too. You got a bunch of really cool cards here. Okay, so on this left-hand side here, I have the Prince of Swords, the Sun, that's your ruler, and the Four of Cups. Now, with this Four of Cups, this kind of ties in nicely too with what I was talking about, this fortune. You like, it's if you just leave it there, that's exactly where it's going to stay. And the Prince of Swords, he's kind of like my card of very smart figure. He can come across a little domineering and all this stuff, but I think it's only because it's just he doesn't know where to go. The princes represent air and the swords represent air. So he's the airiest part of air that air's produced. So, and what's the thing with air? If it's just out free, it doesn't have any kind of direction. The air just flows wherever it goes. And he's not a big fan of that. Sometimes like he does that, but it's like he needs direction because he's trying to like guide these people, these little fairies down here. He's just like, go. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the mall, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to go home because what are we doing? And that's what the Prince of Swords energy is. It's like you got all this, very quick, very smart, capable man, but just doesn't have any direction. And I said man just because he's a prince, but these aren't gender specific readings. So, and I should mention too, I don't think you have any queens, but the princes can represent people as well. I say apply it to yourself first before you apply it to others, but I'm more so feeling it as an energy here for you. It's just one of those things, since that's what we're talking about. Or, you may have, maybe this is like a partner, someone close in your relationship, might be a little flighty, might not have any direction, you're trying to rein them in, you're trying to find this fortune together. But either way, we need that direction. We need to have some kind of intention, because if we're just saying like this, universe, I want fortune. Okay, well, here's a penny on the ground. I mean, that's more than you had, right? It's really being intentional with what you're doing. And I know that may sound a bit silly, but the universe is listening, but you got to be, be confident in what you're asking for. If you I would like happiness. Think about what does that look like to you? What is going to make you happy? Getting that clearer picture. Let's bring some clarity to the vagueness. Because that's how we get to that sun, that good old sun. The sun is, you thought you were happy before? Man, look at this. The sun is just that. It's my happiness, warm and fuzzies, all of that. And this is one of those things. It's like because let me tell you something, Leo. I'm reveling in this energy here. And you know what? Once you get that, you take that self-care and you're getting ready to, or not that stuff, you're taking that sun, all that stuff you found, what's happening, you're getting ready to go out in the world, spread that sun. Because, the challenge last week was like trying to find pockets of sunshine everywhere. We can help to the cause, Leo. Spread that sunshine a little bit. Because I don't know if you can see around here, they're all surrounded by the sun is all 12 zodiacs. That's because everyone deserves happiness, And I feel like whom better than the one who loves basking in the sun, who represents the sun. Leo, you're confident, you're proud, you're all this, go with your head up high and like, yes, I am the sun, revel in it. This is good energy, Leo. Man, I'm feeling good. And I hope you're feeling good too. And to be grateful for this feeling too. That's the Four of Cups is my card of gratitude. It's one, don't take your stuff for granted. It's one of those things sometimes where especially with fortune, you get too much of it. You get to this point where you don't appreciate it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a nice cup, but I got like 10 of those. And that's how, these things, these pleasures, they don't, once they start losing their meaning, that value, then it's like you're just constantly hunting for this fortune, hunting and hunting and hunting, and you're never satisfied. There's now this seed of this seed of Seven of Cups has been planted, because now we're not appreciating these things. They're just become so commonplace, and now you're just like, we've gotten lost up in it. It's become an obsession. And all I'm getting at is just make sure to appreciate that. We don't want to turn this stuff here because things haven't quite turned yet. But as you can see here, even though we got this bright and shiny stuff here, because that doesn't take away how awesome the sun is and all this stuff. But you see this, we got some gray clouds on the horizon. Waters are getting a little choppy. Let's make sure that we are being grateful for what we have, because the sun is a gift. Fortune, all this stuff is a gift, to be able to be in this energy, and and to be able to spread this love and this happiness amount, make this permeate throughout your environment, Leo. That really is something to be treasured. And just make sure that we're keeping that in mind, because we don't want to waste sunshine. I'm sure that I get that it's your ruler, you probably got plenty of it, but appreciate every ounce of it that you have, and things are going to be gravy. We can stay in this. We can just chill, kick our feet up, put a little sun here, and we're just chilling. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, let's move on to some perspectives. Now, on this bottom left-hand corner here, pulled the Hierophant, the Ace of Swords, and the Five of Wands. Now, with the Hierophant is my card of usually of like divine wisdom, but it can represent too as a card of patience, a card of endurance, perseverance. It can also be a card for higher learning. Maybe seeking a teacher, maybe you becoming a teacher, maybe you teach me. Maybe we're going around teaching people how to get this fortune, how to love ourselves. Maybe becoming like life coaches. That's only gonna resonate for some, or maybe we're looking for someone to inspire us, to help us learn how to take care of ourselves, or find what makes us happy. I feel like that's just that. You're getting ready to go on this journey, to find this fortune and all of this. But I feel like with him popping up here too, it's just like, I feel like the overall message with this is just kind of be patient with this. You're finding this happiness, this fortune. I would love it to you just draw a card, and then just like all this abundance. As soon as I drew this, that abundance just fell out of the sky and you didn't even know what to do. But sometimes it does take time. It doesn't, But in this time, while we're being patient, while we're doing this thing, there's always a little time for some self-care, because that's what the Empress does. She just she's in and out. We're just she's smooth like that. But yeah, that's really what I'm kind of feeling here. So hopefully take that as it resonates. But definitely remember, in this pursuit for this sun, all this happiness and things, that it does take a little bit of time. The Hierophant moves every 2,000 years. I don't foresee it taking that long. But things are gonna move. We're gonna move a little faster than you, buddy. You'll catch up for sure. But once you get there, you've taken take that wisdom and go out and spread that. And be careful with that. This kind of ties nicely with this gratitude here, because this is finding that happiness. Oh, okay. Hold on there. See, with great power comes great responsibility, because that could have cut somebody. This Ace of Swords. I'm kidding. This Ace of Swords is a card of all the aces are like the root of whatever element that they represent. So this is the root of air, and this is just about that clarity. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this up. This is about that clarity here. Very expansive knowledge. But be mindful with that. This is a card, it's like once you've attained that wisdom and such, go out and spread that with others. It's meant to be that's some great power that you have, to be able to channel that and to be able to share that with others. But you do remember that kind of power does we're not using it to control. There we go. We're not using it to domineer, oppress people, like, haha, look at all the sunshine I have. If you want to get it, you got to jump through these hoops. Ha 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 ha. No, we're not doing that, Leo. No, we just want to make sure that we're, that with this, when we're coming into this wisdom, just be responsible with it. Don't be, I don't want to say don't be selfish with it, but what's the point of having all this fortune by yourself? I feel like once I've come personally, this is personal for me, I won't just a judgment-free zone. But I feel like personally, when I come into something like this, this really good vibes and stuff, I want to share that, and I feel like that's just all that's saying here. Now, it's interesting that you have this Five of Wands here, because I feel like maybe for some of you, it's taken a little bit too long, and now we're feeling a little frustrated. It's just like, well, Justin, I've been channeling this energy, I've been keeping these thoughts, you tell me I got all these aces. What is taking so long? Like I said, I know. I want it to come as quick as you do, but just keep that. Don't let this keep you frustrated, Leo. This is one of your cards. This is Saturn and Leo. You this is gonna test that. If we're gonna come bringing that sun energy, we want to make sure that we're coming correct. We want to make sure that we've dealt with this stuff. That this Seven of Cups energy. We don't want to, because can you imagine, like, again, trying to pour that into your cups? That's going to be a mess, and that's not what we want. We want good fortune. We want clear happiness. We want a clear day. We don't want cloudy skies. We want that sunny sky. So, I feel like for those of you who are feeling frustrated with this energy, that's, not having that patience, I get it. Stay with me. Hang on. It's coming. It's coming. Taking what we learned from here, just remembering that stuff here. You have all the tools you need. It's just let the universe, let things kind of fall into place as it should. Never. It's just like how I say, don't force these readings on anything. Don't force the happiness to happen. It's going to happen. And you want to know why I know that? Because your higher self has some great news for you too. It's got the higher self wants you to know Ace of Wands, art, and the Chariot, which is dope, because Ace of Wands, another root card here, but this is about that energy. This is like, while we're being patient now, while we're planning this, or while we're really considering what's gonna make us happy to get to this fortune, plant. That's another seed for us to plant. First we've got the knowledge that we're picking up along the way, and now we're taking that energy and we're planting it in there. And you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Once we come out and we really start getting there, things are going to be great. then we can really start doing some good manifesting here, some real calculated creation here, because that's what the art card is about. The art card is it's a card of, yeah, pretty much just like it's the finishing. If the alchemical, so the lovers is the alchemical marriage, this is the honeymoon. This is the coming together of all this energies here, and now we're getting ready to make something new with that. You know, gonna throw a little love in there, a little patience, put a little nurturing energy there, sprinkle that with some sun. Oh, what do you think that's gonna make, Leo? Something incredible. You know, that much I do know. And once we've started doing those things, we get to this creation, because this could be something that this could be a project maybe that you're working on, as far as like you're working on yourself. You know, you're working on maybe a house project, maybe something for work, maybe you're working with someone on something. But it is that coming together of these energies. You know, this is about that execution. And once we get to that point, if you don't want to listen to this Cancer, listen to this Cancer. Because this one is about, well, I mean, we're both saying the same things. Listen to us both. We're both telling you that you're going to win. Because that's what this card is about. Victory, triumph. You know, this is the finish line. I love this. I love the Chariot in this deck, because, you know, in most decks, the figures that are represented here are getting ready to go towards something. He's here. He's done the race. Now we converted our Chariot into this little nice little sitting meditation spot here, and he's just focusing on his fortune, thinking about all the things that contemplating, you know, really reveling over this journey, you know, and really taking in all the wisdom that they've gotten from this. You know, this is I love the Chariot. This is what a better end to this epic story than victory. You know, hold on. I think it's safe to move it back, because this is some good stuff, Leo. I'm all for it. But yeah, you know, this is really taking that time. You know, I don't feel like I need to beat this to death. Planting that seed. Let's be smart. You know, taking this energy, taking this wisdom that we've attained from this Hierophant. You know, planting that seed and planting this seed. You know, thinking, being intentional. You know, we're not wandering. We're not just planting this energy anywhere. You know, we're really being intentional with where we're putting this energy. We're putting it in what's making us happy. You know, we're putting it in love, aesthetics, you know, making ourselves better, so that we can solve this problem, so that we can start making it rain. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that there, Leo. I want that to resonate with all of you, but definitely I hope that resonated with at least some of you. So do all those YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, and for a clearer picture of you. And what better way while we're being patient, you know, while we have a little bit of time. You know, I would love 2,000 years, by the way. Feel free to loan me some of that time. But, you know, while we're doing this, you know, check your moon, check your rising. This week how appropriate. I've been telling people to check their Jupiter this week, and Jupiter this is Jupiter's card, fortune. Fortune, expansion, philosophical needs. That's in Jupiter's wheelhouse. So find out what your Jupiter this week. This might reveal something kind of fun about how you can get closer to your goals, you know. Thank you for that. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it, Leo. You know what else I love? Celestial News Weekly. Yeah, boy. Because we're getting into it. Because this kind of stuff will help you tier 2. And you know what? I love that you're bringing this kind of energy this week, because this is going to be with us entering into Scorpio season, is a very rich season of just like depth and, you know, real meaningful relationships. We're done with that superficial stuff right now. We are focusing on some real stuff here. First order of business. On the 23rd, today is really busy. On the 23rd, Saturn is going direct. And on the 23rd, today, it's going direct right now. Right now. It's and this might be a time, you know, while going direct, you know, it's going to probably bring up some fears, a little pressure, a little anxiety, but it's not just doing that just cause. You know, Saturn the lessons can feel kind of harsh from Saturn, but all Saturn wants you to do is grow. It wants you to become a master in this skill. It wants you to be a master. It wants you to get that Empress vibes. Be a master at what we're doing. That compassion, that love, that self-care. That's master at making that fortune. Abundance. That's what Saturn wants at the end of the day. It may come across as bad cop, but look at how you've grown from that. And Saturn's just like, yeah, I know, I'll wait. And it's fine in very humble sense. Okay, next order of business. Venus is entering Scorpio. Hey, girl. She's entering Scorpio, and like I was saying, this is a time for forming meaningful relationships. Really, really deep and meaningful relationships. Oh, and because Scorpio's having a big old party because it's birthday season, the sun is entering Scorpio as well. And this is kind of like for digging beneath that surface, finding some hidden truths, something that that needs to get some air so that we can transform this, so that it's not sullying our cups. Can you imagine that was 7 of Cups in there? That'd have been awful. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we're keeping keeping this stuff clean, not letting this stuff sit there and fester and become something bigger, That's not what we want. Last thing for today, we're going to move on. Just like today, this date. Last thing on the 23rd, Juno is going direct. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Juno, it's one of the 4 major asteroids along with, there's Juno, Vesta, Ceres, and Pallas. And for you history buffs, it was discovered in 1805. And it's, it represents, the asteroids in general represent the aspect of the feminine spirit. And Juno in particular is about that partnering energy of intimate relationships. And when did it go in retrograde? I want to say back in July. I could be making that up. But during this time, it's with it going direct. This is like taking that time to integrate all the stuff we've gleaned from our reflection during this period, and taking that, figuring out how we can improve and strengthen our closest relationships. So you see what I mean? We are really, it's a good time. Maybe hit up some of your friends, some of your family. Really kind of, this is a good time to solidify that. Whom better with all this abundance coming in, Leo. Whom better than to get, to share that with the people that you hold near and dear. And then they can take that out and, spread that to who they hold near and dear. And then it'll go out, it'll come back, it'll go out. It's beautiful. Next order of business. There's going to be a partial new moon solar eclipse. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. But it's a good time. It's eclipse season. Love it. With the solar eclipses just in general, they represent like the coming of, represent like new beginnings or unexpected news. But this time in particular, this is a time to focus on all the positive traits of Scorpio. Their passion, their resourcefulness, their depth, their perceptivity, and how we can incorporate that in our lives. This is, again, I love this. This is, I really can't emphasize that. I'm really happy about this season. It's really cool. And also, while this is going on, the new moon's going to be, throwing a little aspect stuff for you, it's going to be conjunct with the good old Venus. And all that's going to do is, and to be conjunct is pretty much they're just like, it's the strongest type of energy that two planets can have with each other is when they're conjunct, because there's nothing in between them anymore, in a sense. So this is a time too for, with the new moon going conjunct with Venus, it can bring up matters of love, relationships, self-worth. So everything in the Empress's wheelhouse. Tell them, girl. I tell you, the Empress she's been laying it down since last week. So, listen to that Empress, focus on this stuff. You're totally worth it. Feed that love into yourself and then feed that into your relationships. 2 more things. Remember good old Jupiter? Look at all these cards that you have here that just works out. See, the stars are aligning for you, Leo. Mark it in your calendar. It's some good shit's coming. On the 28th, good old Jupiter's going to be, it's still in retrograde, and it's going to be entering Pisces. I don't know why I put, because apparently Pisces is over here. And this is going to be a time for expanding your spirituality and your compassion. And first, really, and not to say first, yeah, no, first, because if you're not compassionate with yourself, it's hard to do it with others. So definitely start with some compassion for yourself, and then take that. Oh, this, look how wise you are, Leo. You're so wise. Take that wisdom and then spread it out to others. Share that compassion, that love, all of that. I'm all with it. Lastly, we have a straggler to the Scorpio party. Mercury showing up on the 29th. Typical. And this is a time for talking about any difficult issues regarding, really, could be about relationships, money, mortality. Yeah, you heard me. But it's all those things that would be considered like taboo, or that'd be like, yo, bro, you bring this up at a superficial party. Everyone's just like, yo, you're bringing the energy down. Let's Netflix and chill. Whereas, in our deep circles, like, no, let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about this, our bond. How can I blah, 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 blah. So nice, so nurturing. All this energy, Leo. So, yeah, that's the last of it. I think we are in good shape. I appreciate you all hanging around with me. Let me get your surprise card here, and I'll get you on your way to go get that abundance. No, look at that. You're so abundance. 2 cards tried to come out. We're not doing that. Wow. So, guess whose friend showed up? The Emperor. What? Leo, come on. What I gotta say? I'm speechless. Wow. Leo, go out there and change the world, because you got the energy right now. Go out and do it. The Emperor is. You thought both. Hold on. You two need to look at each other. Look at this greatness. Wow. This is going to be a good time, Leo. And really take all this energy, and we're spreading this past a week. I want you to take this for your life just going forward. Because, he's one of the bosses. This is like, now that we've taken our self-care, now we're going out. She's like, okay, babe, you looking good. Go ahead and go out and let's go get this thing. Yeah, this is awesome, Leo. You're going to, you got it, Leo. I don't even know. I really don't even know what to say to you. Your presence speaks volumes. And I hope that resonates with you. If you need some words for him, he's a card of that authority. That he's that mastery. That confidence. Very regal energy. Just that's the Emperor. He's boss. He's one of the boss cards, along with the Empress. Oh, no, we're looking at each other. This is some bossy energy right here, Leo. You are king of the jungle, man. The lion. Go out there, Leo. I'm not gonna keep you anymore, because I've got to bask in it, and I don't know about y'all, but I enjoyed that. So get out there and conquer, Leo. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's keep raising the vibration, because you got the energy for it. And I will catch you on the next one later.